Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
I got a blunt message from my parents. I wasn't welcome at Christmas this year. They said my presence made everyone uneasy. A week later, my dad sent a payment request, $1,900 for my portion of the holiday groceries. I sent back $190 with a note. Didn't attend, won't pay. Then I shut down the Costco membership, locked the family Amazon account, and reported the shared Amex card for review. 2 days later, my mom called, sobbing. "How could you do this?" she wailed. I'd learned I was excluded from Christmas via a curt 3-line email. "We've decided it's better if you don't come. You make people uncomfortable. We hope you understand." No phone call. No discussion. Just an email, like I was being fired from a temp job. I read it on a Tuesday morning, my coffee half drunk, my work laptop still booting up. I stared at the screen, hoping the words would somehow soften. They didn't. The message was cold, clinical, like a minor calendar update. "Oh, by the way, you're cut from the holiday." No hard feelings, but it was deeply personal. I'd felt the shift over the past few years. Small signs. My mom stopped asking me to come early to help with cooking. My dad only called when he needed cash. My brother and his wife started acting like I was toxic. Still, I kept showing up. I brought presents, helped in the kitchen, tidied up, chuckled at lame anecdotes, and smiled through the awkwardness. I waited for someone to acknowledge the tension. Now they had, in writing. I didn't respond to the email. I waited. 1 day passed, then 2, then a week. No one reached out. Then came the Venmo request, $1,900 from my dad. Note, your share of holiday expenses. I laughed out loud, alone in my apartment. They'd banned me from Christmas, called me a problem, and then billed me for food I didn't eat, like I was just a line in their ledger. I sent $190 back. Note, didn't attend, won't pay. Then I started dismantling their access. I canceled the Costco membership. It was in my name, paid from my account. My mom treated it like her own. I pictured her at the checkout with a cart of shrimp platters and bulk napkins, only to hear the card was declined. I didn't give her a heads up. Next, Amazon. They'd been using my Prime for free shipping, groceries, and streaming. My dad binged his favorite conspiracy documentaries on my account. Not anymore. I changed the password, logged out all devices, and secured it. Then the Amex. It was a joint account. They'd added me years ago to boost their credit limit. I reported it for suspicious activity, triggering an immediate freeze. 2 days later, my phone rang. My mom's number. I ignored it at first. It rang again, and again. I finally picked up. She was crying, but not apologizing. Just sobbing, like I'd betrayed her. How could I be so spiteful? They were my parents. I stayed quiet, letting her vent. She wanted me compliant and silent. She wanted me generous but unseen. She wanted me guilty. But I wasn't. That's what rattled her most. 3 days after her tearful call, my brother texted. No hello, no context. Just, was that really necessary? I stared at it. The last time he messaged was to ask me to split our dad's dental bill. No gratitude then, either. Now he had the gall to scold me, like I was the issue. I didn't reply. That night, a group text popped up. My mom had opened a new Costco membership in her name. The message was short and snide. New family Costco account. For me, Mike, and Jess. Thanks to True Family for pitching in. They weren't even pretending anymore. It was a jab, meant to make me feel small, excluded, remorseful. It just made me laugh. True Family? These were the people who axed me from Christmas like I was a nuisance and then sent me a bill. They thought they were punishing me by cutting me out. They didn't see they were setting me free, so I kept going. Next was the phone plan. They were all on mine. Mom, Dad, even Mike. I'd added them years ago when I got a discount through work, and they pleaded to join temporarily. That was 6 years back. Only my dad ever made half-hearted attempts to chip in, and those were rare. They assumed I'd keep footing the bill. I gave them a week's notice via group text. Phone plan ends Friday. Get your own accounts. No replies. Not even an emoji. Typical. They thought I was bluffing. I wasn't. Friday came. At 12:01 p.m., their lines were cut off. The provider sent confirmation. 3 numbers deactivated. 2 hours later, the chaos began. My dad called from a random landline. I didn't answer. Then came voicemails. Panicked, then furious, then guilt-laced. He said he needed his phone for a prescription refill, that cutting him off was reckless and cruel. I didn't respond. That night, my cousin Laura messaged me on Facebook. We hadn't spoken in over a year, not since she dodged repaying me for concert tickets. Hey, your mom called me from a landline. She says you're going through something and lashing out. You okay? There it was. The narrative. I wasn't responding to years of disrespect. I was unhinged, troubled. It was already spreading. I replied, I'm fine. That's it. I knew how this worked. They'd rewrite the story until I was the antagonist in our family saga, the one who just lost it. They'd skip the part about the money, the favors, the quiet ways I kept things afloat. But I wasn't worried. I had proof. Every payment I'd covered, every text begging for help, every Venmo transaction, every Amazon charge they ran up, even the email where my dad pleaded for me to co-sign a loan he later defaulted on. I wasn't ready to go public yet, but I was organizing everything. By mid-December, my family's silence turned strategic. No texts, no calls, no holiday sob stories. Just an eerie, calculated hush. I could sense them regrouping, probably aligning their version of events. I was likely already the erratic one in their tale. Then an Amex alert hit my inbox, a fraud notification. Someone tried a $2,100 purchase at an appliance store, shipping to my parents' address. The email was my dad's. The card? Our joint, Amex, already frozen. They thought they could keep charging like nothing had changed. I didn't call them. I called the bank. The rep asked if I wanted to dispute the charge. I said yes. I explained everything. How I was the primary account holder, how they'd joined years ago, how I'd been paying it alone, and how I'd flagged it for unauthorized use. She paused, then offered a full audit of the past years, charges to verify who made what and potentially involve legal if needed. I told her to go ahead. Then I started digging. I combed through emails, Venmo, texts, bank statements. The scope of it stunned me. Rent payments, groceries, car repairs, random cash transfers, Christmas gifts I'd bought and never been reimbursed for, subscriptions, Amazon orders, streaming accounts, even their dog's meds shipped to my address, once because my discount made it cheaper. By the end, I had a spreadsheet, $14,000 over 2 years, $14,000. All while they called me selfish, ungrateful, unlovable. That night, my mom emailed me, a long, melodramatic plea dripping with fake concern. She missed me. Things had spiraled. Families shouldn't feud over money. She was worried about me, but buried in the sweetness was a threat. If you want to make this ugly, we can too. It was chillingly clear. I didn't reply. Instead, I backed everything up. Uploaded it to a secure cloud, shared with no one. Printed hard copies and stored them in a fireproof safe. Saved duplicates on a USB, hidden in my closet. They didn't think I'd fight back. They assumed I'd fold, like always. Apologize. Send a gift. Show up. They didn't realize I'd crossed a line. Something inside me had shattered, and it wasn't coming back together the same way. They thought my silence meant they'd won. They had no idea I was gearing up for battle. Days before Christmas, I got a notification about a certified letter delivered to me. I wasn't expecting anything, so I assumed it was a late package. When I saw the law firm's letterhead, I laughed. My parents had hired an attorney. The letter was a cease and desist, 4 pages long, accusing me of meddling in their finances, spreading lies, and launching a smear campaign against them. It even warned against defaming them to others. It read like something they'd pulled from a legal template online and sent to a budget lawyer, but it screamed desperation. They were flailing, trying to paint themselves as victims and me as the unhinged kid acting out for no reason. I didn't reply to the lawyer. I sent the letter to Amex. 2 days earlier, their fraud team had called. The initial audit was complete. Several big charges, gadgets, hotel bookings, flights, a $700 pair of headphones, were unauthorized, not matching my spending patterns. They asked if I wanted to escalate. I said yes. While they pushed the case higher, I closed every remaining gap. I deleted our shared family calendar, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. Removed them from my Spotify plan, locked them out of Netflix, HBO Max, Hulu, changed passwords, logged out devices. It was ruthless. Instant. They were probably mid-movie when their screens went dark. Later that day, Amazon flagged an attempted login from an unknown device. Someone tried a password reset and even changing the backup email. Security caught it, but they sent me the IP. It was my parents' house. They didn't miss me. They missed the perks. Then my brother texted, first message since his snarky one-liner. Now he was livid. Congrats. You wrecked Christmas. Mom's a mess. Happy now? No questions. No curiosity about my side. Just blame. Like I'd torched the holiday table and spat on the decorations. They still didn't see it. I'd been propping them up for years, quietly, without fanfare, filling gaps they pretended didn't exist. The second I stopped, they didn't thank me for all I'd done. They vilified me. That night, my mom sent one last email, no greeting, no remorse, just one line, you've made your decision. And she was right. I had. For the first time, I was choosing myself. Not them dictating terms. Not me yielding to avoid conflict. Not me acting like everything was okay. It was a boundary. And I wasn't stepping back. 2 days after Christmas, a text came from an unknown number. Hey, it's Randy from your dad's old job. Saw something odd today. FYI attached was a screenshot of a Facebook post. My mom had gone full public, posting a tearjerker about how her youngest child had turned on the family. She claimed I'd battled anger issues for years and was now spreading harmful lies online. No name, but it was obviously me. The post had dozens of likes and comments. Old neighbors, church acquaintances, distant relatives, all piling on with pity. You're so strong. Some people can't be helped. God sees the truth. I didn't comment, didn't engage. I just saved the screenshots. Then I checked her profile. She'd tagged family in the comments, including Laura and, unsurprisingly, Jess, my brother's wife. I knew the calls would start soon, but what happened next threw me. At noon, Amex sent an update. The fraud team finished their investigation. Multiple unauthorized charges were confirmed, and they were escalating to their legal team. They asked if I wanted to pursue further action. I said yes. 2 hours later, Jess texted, "Can we talk? Just us?" I hesitated. Jess had always been distant, often icy. She'd pushed for smaller family gatherings and dropped snide remarks about my intensity. If she was reaching out now, something was brewing. I agreed to hear her out. She called instantly, her voice hushed, like she was in another room. She'd been watching the chaos unfold, including my mom's Facebook posts, and was done pretending. She'd discovered my mom had been borrowing money from her and Mike for over a year. Small sums, always cash, always with a sob story, car repairs, a surprise gift for Dad, helping a struggling friend. Jess never questioned it because it was sold as family duty. But it added up. Before Christmas, my mom asked to use Jess's card while shopping, claiming she'd forgotten hers. She bought a designer purse. When Jess pressed her, she called it a mix-up and promised to repay. She didn't. When Jess told Mike, he dismissed it, said it wasn't a big deal, said Mom would never deceive them. Then came Christmas, the posts, the account freezes. Jess started seeing I wasn't the villain. She flipped it all on you, Jess said. Made you the monster so no one would suspect her. I didn't say much. I didn't need to. Jess already knew. Mike's completely under her control, she said. He's blind to it. But I'm not. Hours later, Laura messaged again. She asked if I was okay, but this time it wasn't just echoing my mom. So I sent her everything, the receipts, the payments, the lawyer's letter, the fraud findings. 20 minutes later, she replied, I had no idea. That's wild. The next morning, my mom's Facebook post vanished. By afternoon, her whole profile was gone, but it didn't stop there. That night, my cloud storage flagged a login attempt. Failed tries from 2 IPs, one from my parents' town, one unknown. The files were safe, encrypted, and backed up. But they were clearly digging, trying to see what I had. And I was just getting started. New Year's Eve brought no celebration, just another alert about a failed login to my backup drive. They couldn't crack the 2-factor authentication. I didn't need to wonder who it was. They were nervous. The silence from my parents and brother held for a week after my mom's Facebook vanished. No texts, no calls, no sanctimonious emails, quoting scripture to guilt me. But the quiet wasn't calming. It felt like the lull before a storm's next wave. Then came a call from an unknown number. I ignored it. A voicemail followed. My dad, eerily composed. He said he wanted to settle things quietly. That this had gone too far, and lawyers weren't necessary. He said they'd talk if I stopped playing. Games. He still didn't get it. This wasn't a game. It was an endpoint. I let the voicemail sit for 2 days. Then I wrote a letter. Not emotional, not a tirade, just a list. Every dollar I'd spent, every fraudulent Amex charge, every instance of account abuse, streaming, Prime, Costco, phones, copies of the Facebook posts and my mom's manipulation. Sent it via certified mail. One to their house, one to my brother. No note, no signature, just evidence. Days later, my brother texted, "You really want to destroy everything, don't you?" I didn't reply. It wasn't a question. It was an attack, as if I'd abandoned something precious instead of escaping a snare. But then, the final piece clicked. Jess texted again. She was leaving Mike. She'd been considering it for a while but hadn't seen the full extent of the dysfunction until she saw how they turned on me. She'd started looking at apartments, opened her own bank account, and was seeking legal advice about their shared finances still tied to mine. "He's not just under her control," she said. "He's building a life around it." Then came the kicker. She offered evidence. Screenshots, voicemails, emails. From my mom. From Mike. Messages where they discussed bypassing my account freezes, pressuring me into compliance and making me look unhinged. "Thought you might need this," she said. She sent it all. I didn't tell her my plans. I didn't need to. But when I saw my mom's words, scheming to make people doubt me, I knew this wasn't just about money. It was about power, keeping me in line, and now I was free. Update. I didn't plan to add more. I thought I'd close the book. I thought cutting the financial cords, exposing the deceit, and sending the evidence was the end. I was mistaken. Last Sunday around noon, someone knocked on my apartment door. No buzzer, no notice. I live in a secure building, so they must have slipped in behind someone. I checked the peephole. My parents, standing there like it was routine. No bags, just them. My mom held a folder. I didn't open the door. They knocked again. My mom spoke, loud enough to carry through. "They just wanted to talk," she said. They were ready to reconcile. They were willing to be the bigger people. I nearly laughed. I told them through the door to leave. I said I'd call the police if they didn't. My dad muttered something. My mom knocked again, sharper. She said, "If you won't resolve this, we'll handle it for you." That's when I started recording. They lingered a minute or two, then left. But not before sliding the folder under my door. Inside were printed screenshots of my messages, cherry-picked. An email to my cousin, edited to look like a threat. Old texts from when I was frustrated, clipped to seem unhinged. At the back, a handwritten note from my mom. "You don't want this going public. Think about your career, your future. Family stays family." So, yeah, they showed up to intimidate me. They tried to fabricate a narrative to flip the blame. Now they're threatening to ruin my life if I don't comply. I sent everything to my lawyer. And for the record, my workplace doesn't tolerate this kind of drama. If they want to play dirty, I'll play smarter. Shout out to Jess. She said she'd testify if this goes to court. The game's not over yet.